What if I told you that love isn't what turns her on, and what really does might be the exact thing you've been trained to suppress? Most guys still think being nice, available, and emotionally open is enough to spark something real, but modern desire runs on a different fuel. This video dives into what actually ignites that invisible fire, not based on fantasy, but on real hardwired attraction psychology, built on female nature, power dynamics, and a man's masculine frame. And here's the deal. If you miss what I'm about to reveal, you'll keep doing all the right things for all the wrong results. If this message resonates with you, help me spread it. Hit that like button, drop a comment if anything clicks with your experience, and share it with a brother who needs this insight right now. Let's grow together. Because once you understand the desire triggers she doesn't even know how to verbalize, you shift from being chosen to being unforgettable. And what truly sparks desire in a modern woman? He thought he was doing everything right, listening to her stories, texting good morning, offering help before she asked. But something was off. The spark never ignited. She smiled politely, said he was such a good guy, and slowly drifted away. Here's the truth most men don't hear. Desire isn't born in comfort. It's sparked by boldness, not approval. And if you don't understand the unspoken layers of female nature, you'll keep playing a game where the rules are invisible, and you're always losing. Most modern women won't say this out loud, not because they're hiding it, but because they don't even consciously understand it. What really turns them on is rarely what they'll admit. You'll hear them talk about emotional safety and deep connection, but desire triggers operate in the shadows of the subconscious. They're tied to instinct, not intellect. If you try to spark attraction with logic or affection alone, you'll smother the fire before it even starts. What she wants is something she feels, not something she decides. Let's cut through the noise. She doesn't crave a robot who ticks off boyfriend checklists. She craves a man who leads with presence, commands his space with confidence, and doesn't need her validation to feel like a man. That's the energy that wakes something primal inside her. It's not about looks, it's about energy. Dominant energy. The kind that doesn't ask, but silently pulls. If you've ever seen her go crazy over a guy who barely lifted a finger, now you know he wasn't being rude. He was being magnetic. Here's a hard truth. Being overly available drains your value in her eyes. Constant reassurance, chasing and confessing feelings, too soon triggers the validation trap. And once you fall in, it's hard to climb out. Women are biologically wired to respond to challenge and unpredictability. It keeps them emotionally engaged. When there's nothing left to figure out about you, the mystery dies, and with it, the attraction. You become safe, but forgettable. Scarcity mindset isn't a flaw. It's a weapon when wielded with emotional discipline. The modern man is confused. He's been told to open up, be soft, express every emotion, but then he watches her melt for the guy who barely looks her way. Why? Because women are naturally drawn to masculine frame, that grounded energy that doesn't shift with her moods. Stoicism, not coldness. Stillness, not silence. She wants to feel your emotions, but only if you're the one who leads them, not the one overwhelmed by them. Be expressive, but never emotionally chaotic. Emotional control is magnetic. Let me tell you about Ryan. He was the nice guy for most of his 20s. Always available, always texting, always heartbroken. Until he started studying attraction psychology and shifted his energy. He stopped over-explaining himself, walked with inner strength, and spoke less, but with weight. Women responded differently. One even said, "I don't know what it is about you now, but I can't stop thinking about you." That was the power of strategic silence, of learning when not to chase but to let presence speak louder than words. Desire lives in the unknown. When she can predict every word you'll say, every reaction you'll give, she stops feeling tension, and without tension, there is no pull. Don't confuse love with desire. One is chosen, the other is evoked. You don't need to be cold or manipulative. You need to be centered, unshakable. When she can feel your authenticity, not rehearsed lines, but raw truth, that's when she leans in. That's when male leadership begins. You don't earn her desire, you awaken it. Let's break something wide open here. You've been taught to just be yourself, right? But what does that even mean when your self was shaped by years of people-pleasing and emotional codependency? Authenticity isn't about comfort, it's about alignment. When a man lives from his purpose first, not approval, he radiates something that cuts through her filters. You don't need to become someone else. You need to return to who you were before the world told you to be soft. That's the version of you that turns heads without trying. Women are incredibly intuitive, but also deeply emotional. That means they pick up on nonverbal cues faster than you realize. Your body says more than your words ever will. Are you standing tall or shrinking to please her? Is your eye contact firm or searching for acceptance? Mastering the subtleties of status signals, your tone, your pace, your posture, communicates volumes. She doesn't consciously analyze it, but she feels it. Attraction starts before the first word is even spoken. Be sharp in silence. Be heavy in stillness. Here's where most guys get stuck. They confuse being strong with being cold, or being dominant with being disrespectful. That's not it. Unapologetic masculinity means you don't perform for attention, and you don't shrink to avoid judgment. You know your center. You act from it. Women test this without realizing it. It's how they confirm your stability. If she pushes a boundary and you fold, she'll lose respect. If you hold your line with calmness, you trigger her instinct to follow. Leadership isn't demanded, it's felt. Remember this, a woman's attraction isn't logical, it's emotional. You can't convince her to want you, but you can embody the energy that pulls her in. That means you lead with inner strength, not desperation. You hold boundaries like a man who values his time. You speak your truth without explaining it. And when things don't go your way, you move with stoicism, not drama. That emotional maturity is rare today, and rare things are always more desirable. Don't be available, be valuable. There's a moment right before a woman decides to chase where she senses something different in you. It's when you're not reacting, not explaining, not adjusting your personality like a social chameleon. You're just solid, present. That presence becomes addictive. She doesn't know why, but she starts replaying your words, imagining your voice, feeling your absence when you're not around. That's not manipulation. That's emotional gravity. You didn't do anything. You were something. This is the silent power most men never discover. Think about the last time you really wanted something, not because it was handed to you, but because it was rare. That's how scarcity mindset works in your favor. When you stop chasing and start choosing, you reverse the emotional flow. You become the one who evaluates, the one who selects. Women feel that. It doesn't mean you act arrogant, it means you stop acting needy. Needy energy repels. Confidence, on the other hand, is a natural byproduct of having options and knowing it. You ever wonder why she kept chasing the guy who ignored her texts, but ghosted the one who checked in every day? It's not about cruelty, it's about desire triggers. She wasn't addicted to his neglect. She was drawn to the mystery, the unpredictable emotional arc. That doesn't mean you treat women badly, it means you stop being predictable. The moment she can map out your every move, the game is over. Desire doesn't live in routines, it lives in power dynamics that shift her emotional state. A woman doesn't fall for your words, she falls for how those words make her feel. And that feeling is created through emotional contrast. Too many men try to keep the peace, always agreeing, always smoothing things over, but constant harmony flattens the experience. Sexual polarity thrives in contrast. You're firm to her fluid, your direction to her chaos. When you lean into that tension without fear, you don't repel her, you awaken her. If you're always agreeable, you're forgettable. Tension, when healthy, builds unforgettable chemistry. Real attraction isn't something you earn with effort. It's something you embody with posture, tone, energy, and behavior. She senses your vibe before you ever touch her. You don't need to force it. In fact, trying too hard is the first red flag. The most attractive men don't ask, how do I make her like me? They ask, am I living in full alignment with my values? That's self-respect in action. It's quiet, it's sharp, and it slices through all the noise in her world. Here's where most men start waking up, when they realize that trying harder isn't the answer. Being clearer is. Clarity on your standards, on your time, on your energy. You stop chasing women and start attracting them. You stop asking, what do they want? And start embodying who you are without apology. That's the beginning of male leadership. And it shifts everything. And hey, quick break right here. If this content is hitting different, if it's connecting dots no one else talks about, don't scroll past. Smash that like button and subscribe now, because this is just the surface. What comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about women and yourself. Let's keep going. She might tell you she wants a man who listens, who communicates, who opens up. And while that's partially true, what she feels drawn to isn't just openness, it's boldness paired with emotional precision. Sharing your feelings isn't the same as spilling your insecurities. Vulnerability without emotional control makes her uneasy. She needs to feel safe inside your storm, not consumed by it. When your truth is filtered through inner strength, she leans in. But when your truth is a plea for approval, she pulls away. Let's talk energy. Every man walks into a room with a signal, invisible but undeniable. Some enter like whispers, hoping not to disturb. Others walk in like gravity, not loud, just heavy. That's presence. It's not arrogance, it's stillness. Eye contact held half a second longer. Movements with intention, speech with space. When you stop rushing to fill silence, the room shifts. So does her attention. It's not about impressing, it's about being undistracted. She feels that, and it pulls her in, whether she understands it or not. One of the most misunderstood concepts is dominant energy. It's not control over her. It's control over yourself, so rooted, so deliberate, that she relaxes into your certainty. A woman doesn't want to carry the emotional weight of the relationship. She wants to feel like she can fall into you. That means your decision-making is clear. Your vision is grounded. You're not seeking consensus. You're offering direction. And when done with love and stoicism, it becomes a relief to her, not a restriction. Too many men are afraid of being misunderstood. They over-explain, over-justify, and end up diluting their power. But strategic silence has its own language. It says, I don't need to defend my truth. It makes her wonder, reflect, engage emotionally. That gap of silence creates tension, and tension creates space for attraction psychology to unfold. Practice saying less. Let your actions carry the weight. Let your decisions speak. The man who's confident in his direction doesn't need loud declarations. He needs only presence and intention. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about protecting your energy. When you say no without flinching, when you hold your ground calmly, you demonstrate high value. Women test boundaries instinctively. It's not manipulation, it's detection. They're scanning for leadership, for masculine frame, for the strength to not bend under pressure. And when you fold, you send the message, I'm not rooted. But when you stand firm with warmth and clarity, they feel safe in your decisiveness. Safety isn't comfort, it's certainty. Ever notice how she responds more to your absence than your presence? That's not a trick. That's emotional calibration. The more you chase, the more she retreats. But when you create emotional discipline, you manage your impulses, delay gratification, resist the urge to check in too soon, she begins to wonder, and that wondering becomes craving. Desire lives in anticipation. Don't be cold. Be strategic. Mirror the energy she gives you. Lead the pace. Let her feel your restraint, not rejection, but control. Here's a mistake men make all the time. They confuse attention with interest. A woman can smile, laugh, even flirt, but if you don't carry the masculine frame, it won't go anywhere. She may enjoy the moment, but forget you the next day. Female nature responds to strength, not entertainment. So instead of being funny or clever, be grounded. Be intentional. You're not there to win her. You're there to express your energy and see if it aligns. When you do that, the dynamic shifts instantly. Let's flip the script. What if your job wasn't to make her feel something, but to become someone worth feeling something for? That shift moves you out of reactive mode and into purpose-first living. Women can smell purpose. They feel when your life is moving with or without them. That creates intrigue. Long-term desire isn't built on pleasing her. It's built on chasing your mission. That's male leadership in its purest form. Not seeking her energy, but radiating your own with clarity. A man who lacks direction becomes emotionally volatile. One compliment from her and he's flying. One ignored text and he's shattered. That's emotional dependence, not love. Real attraction is stable, even when tested. That's why stoicism matters. Not because feelings are weak, but because mastery of them is power. She wants to feel your passion, yes, but not your emotional chaos. Hold the fire, don't throw it. Your ability to remain calm under pressure communicates more than words ever will. It says, you can lean on me. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be tall. You don't even have to be the best looking guy in the room. But if you carry unapologetic masculinity, if you move like a man who's not trying to be liked but simply is, you become unforgettable. Women remember how you made them feel. And confidence is felt like a heartbeat, rhythmic, steady, undeniable. It's not bravado, it's not arrogance. It's alignment between who you are and how you move through the world. Let's get real. You will be tested. She'll cancel plans last minute. She'll make a sly comment to see how you react. It's not evil, it's instinct. Her psyche is wired to detect strength. And the moment you lash out, beg, or collapse into insecurity, the frame shatters. Hold the masculine frame. Breathe. Respond instead of react. Humor helps. Stillness helps more. Not every comment needs a comeback. Not every test needs a defense. Your silence can sometimes say, nice try, better than words ever could. Don't confuse unpredictability with instability. Women love emotional variety, not emotional chaos. You can be playful, teasing, romantic, even mysterious, but keep your foundation solid. Let her experience contrast, not confusion. That's how sexual polarity is maintained. It's the dance of opposites. Your assertiveness against her receptivity, your logic against her emotion. Lean into that. Don't try to mirror her, lead her. And when you do it with emotional control, she feels not just attraction, but surrender. And that's the moment things shift for real. Here's a tactic that works better than any pickup line. Listen differently. Not to respond, not to impress, but to see. Most women are never actually seen. They're admired, sure, complimented, yes, but not seen. When you listen from grounded presence, noticing the meaning behind her words, the shift in tone, the moment she tries to hide something, you make her feel deeply felt. That's rare. And in that moment, you stop being just another guy and become someone she doesn't want to lose. Last thing, attraction. Psychology isn't about tactics. It's about energy. It's about alignment between thought, behavior, and presence. You can memorize 1,000 tricks and still repel her if your energy's off. But when your identity is stable, when you've healed your wounds, built your mission, and sharpened your boundaries, she'll feel it before you speak. And that's what makes the difference. She won't know why she's drawn to you, but she will be. That's when you stop chasing and start choosing. She's not looking for a checklist, she's looking for a feeling. And that feeling isn't logical, fair, or even predictable. It's visceral, it's unconscious, and it's awakened by a man who carries boldness wrapped in calm, who speaks little but moves decisively, who makes her feel small in the best possible way, like she can finally relax her guard. That doesn't come from chasing, it comes from embodying. Every gesture, every word, every pause, when done with masculine frame, becomes an invitation she can't ignore. We're in a time where most men are starving for clarity, lost in a world of mixed signals, walking on eggshells, trying not to offend. But clarity is magnetic, and women respond deeply to male leadership that isn't forceful, but intentional. Say what you want, mean what you say. If she doesn't align, let her walk. That kind of self-respect echoes louder than any compliment. Attraction isn't found in trying harder, it's found in being clearer, stronger, and more rooted than she expects you to be. Let this land. The man who understands female nature doesn't resent it, he respects it. He plays the game not with manipulation, but with mastery. He knows when to speak and when to stay silent, when to push and when to pull back. He understands that desire is fluid, but it flows towards structure. Your job isn't to please her. Your job is to build a life so full, so purpose-driven, that she wants to be part of your world. That's high value. That's power. And maybe that's the shift. From trying to figure women out, to figuring yourself out first. From decoding what sparks her desire, to becoming the kind of man who naturally lights the fire. One who walks with confidence, enforces boundaries, lives with purpose first, and leads with unapologetic masculinity. She'll feel it before she sees it, before she admits it. And when that happens, the game changes completely. So now the question becomes, are you the man she can feel, or the man she forgets by morning? Every move you make, every boundary you enforce, every moment you choose silence over seeking validation, it all sends a signal. You're either reinforcing high value or leaking energy trying to prove it. There's no middle ground anymore, not in the world we live in. Let me ask you this. How many times have you lowered your standards just to keep her? How often have you silenced your truth just to feel wanted? Be honest to yourself, if no one else. Drop this in the comments. From now on, I lead with presence. Let me know how this landed for you. And if something clicked, even slightly, trust me, that's not by accident. Thank you, truly, for staying here until the end. Your time means something. It tells me you're ready to stop guessing and start leading. If this message helped you, please like the video, share it with a brother who needs this reminder, and subscribe with the bell on. Because this journey into self-mastery is just getting started. And I promise, you haven't seen anything yet.